Okay, so there's not much more fun in my world than getting to take math and apply it to the decision-making process for a home purchase. Usually a home purchase, maybe a home sale, but primarily this is going to be you're considering two different options or a handful of different options from, this could be maybe you're thinking about a condo versus a single family detached house. Maybe you're thinking about a home in an area where there is a CDD fee versus one where there's not. Maybe it's a homeowners association that has a relatively costly monthly or annual homeowners association fee versus a community where that does not exist. And so the question becomes, how do you compare apples to apples in these scenarios? Hence the fun math on the board behind me. So if you see behind me, basically a mirror image of my financial calculator. At the top, you've got the number of months in this case. So 360 months, we're going to compare using a 30-year mortgage amortization schedule. And you say, what does that mean? So here's what we're going to do. You've got an additional cost. Like I said, maybe it's a condo complex, maybe it's an HOA fee, maybe it's a CDD fee, comparing it to either different condo, HOA, CDD, or the lack of a condo, HOA, or CDD fee in a different neighborhood and area. And so how do you think about, if I've got a monthly payment of $300 that exists in one scenario and not in the other, how do I bring into balance how much more or less I should be paying for the property with or without that fee? So math behind me, 360 months, we're going to use the 30-year mortgage as our sort of gauge for seeing the value difference. And now we're borrowing money at around 7%. Maybe it's a little less, maybe it's a little more, but I'm just using that as a marker or measure so that we can, again, see the difference in what this monthly payment should show us in terms of the ability to borrow more money to buy the other one. And I'll break this down a bit more in a second, but for the moment, so 7% monthly payment, we're saying that monthly payment difference is $300, and you see in red here, when I plug these numbers in, 360 months at 7% interest for a $300 monthly payment, it gives me a PV as present value, so a value difference of $45,000. And so here's how that would work out. Apples to oranges, making apples to apples is, in this scenario, let's say I'm considering a condo with a $300 monthly payment, or even two different condos. One of them, option A, has a payment that's $300 more. And I'm looking at this other condo B, trying to determine how much more should I be willing to pay for condo B, given that the monthly payment is $300 less. And if I'm borrowing money, going to get a mortgage, at 7% over 30 years, then if the $300 difference exists, I should be willing to pay $45,000 more for option B, because that gets it to even based on current borrowing standards. So hopefully that makes sense. And really, you can do this for anything. So we could come in and we could say, instead of a $300 monthly difference, let's say, it's a condo on the ocean versus a little single family detached house across the street from the ocean, and your condo fee is, let's say it's $1,200 a month because you're on the ocean and insurance is expensive and being on the ocean is fun, but the building maintenance costs money. And you'll see that little plus minus at the end of that number. Make sure to punch that on your financial calculator, otherwise the math isn't going to math. So again, condo on the ocean, single family detached across the street without a homeowners association at all. We plug those numbers into our fun little calculator. We're going to see that the math now says that $1,200 monthly condo payment will turn into $180,370 of borrowability. I'm making that word up, but of money that you could finance to buy the other property. And so the other thing that gets interesting is as interest rates change, so let's say we moved our interest rate to 5%, then actually the difference becomes greater. So that number becomes $223,000 plus or minus. And so it's just something to think about as you're making decisions and how you can use math to help you make those real estate decisions. And I use this often, and I try to help clients think through the different options that they have with this in the background. Does it mean that you absolutely, because the math shows you're getting a better deal over here versus over there, have to do the over here? No. You are just now making your decision with the proper information, and you can still do what you want to do, but at least you know how the numbers play out. So hope this is helpful. Have a great week. If you've got any questions, Jeff@pursuitrealestate.com and 904-405-1995. Take care.